Hey, my name is Pablo Mora. I'm a DevOps engineer for Teilur, and my current role and responsibilities in my company consists in developing scripts for CI/CD pipelines, especially referring to Jenkins pipelines, and deploying applications into the cloud using primarily AWS as my tool. I started working as a DevOps engineer in 2020, right around the pandemic. And I really found this field interesting because I started my career in IT as a full stack web developer and eventually transitioned into DevOps engineering because I became acquainted and interested and invested in the full life cycle of the entire application, from its conceptual side to its monitoring, passing all the way from the code to the operations side of things, continuous integration, continuous development, and all of the stages that are in between. I became really invested in these, and I eventually transitioned into DevOps, which I think gives me a broader view of the entire application lifecycle. A particularly difficult challenge I had to deal with was a technical challenge which involved running a for loop in a couple S3 buckets inside, or should I say inside a single S3 bucket with thousands and thousands of files, which Jenkins pipeline had the responsibility of processing one by one. And you can imagine the amount of time that it took for this pipeline to process the entire file structure. It took around 9 hours to process the entire bucket. So the challenge was to reduce the time that the processing took place, and the solution was to investigate into a different AWS tool called AWS Athena, which actually read and executed SQL queries on S3 buckets to process them easily and get solutions and answers promptly. So what I did was transition the entire file structure that consisted of files inside an S3 bucket, and transitioned it into a readable database, a readable SQL database, using a tool called AWS Glue, and afterwards run SQL queries on this database using AWS Athena. And therefore, thanks to that investigation and code production, the time that it took for the pipeline to complete its work was reduced from 9 hours to around 20 to 25 minutes. This was quite a challenging task. It took me a couple of weeks to get it done, but I learned a lot during the process, and it was very satisfying to see the business value that this investigation brought. As a DevOps engineer, I believe certifications are essential. I have quite a few of them myself. I possess the AWS Cloud Practitioner, the AWS Certificate for Developer Associate, and the Certified Kubernetes Application Developer certifications. And I'm currently pursuing the Terraform Associate certification, so I hope to include that one as well. I'm part of a team of DevOps engineers, which gives maintenance to a complex client infrastructure. We have several departments inside our DevOps engineering team, which takes care of different stages inside the application lifecycle for different clients. And I often transition between different departments, leading different projects. So I'm not constrained to a single place, which is great.